So she was like, ain't none of y'all dudes out there going to trick me off of my 80% offering your 20. Even though that 20 looks phenomenal when you're not getting it over here.
And that 20% be on Instagram.
Yeah, ooh.
It be shaking, making you dizzy. That's how bad that 20% be. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's all it is.
That 20%.
20% on the dollar.
Yeah.
Yo, it's your boy Chauncey.
And it's your favorite boyfriend, Uncle Wayne.
This is the WTF He Say podcast.
That's what's up.
All right, welcome everybody to the WTF podcast with me. And I'm one half of the host. Other half is
Uncle Wayne.
Uncle Wayne. Man, we excited to bring this content, man. We've been working on this for a while. We've had some ups and downs, just trying to get things logistically together, but also the equipment working. We've had some equipment what would you call it? Equipment malfunctions, right?
Operator errors.
A lot of that.
So we got it done, and we just going to be getting it ready, and we got it ready to bring it to you.
Definitely. So it's exciting to sit down and talk about some things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. We just maintain it, man. Adjusting to the new way of life and, maintain it as best we can.
Yeah. As I once heard from the old folk that, we're just blessed with a reasonable portion of health and strength and glad to wake up in my right mind.
Yeah, you sounded like you starting to get up there in age with that.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to hear it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man,
now
that's
you
from
saying
old folk. Now, yeah, it's stuck.
Used to hear it, now you say it.
Yeah,
right?
now I say it. So
Boy, that's something different, man. So what we got online today, man? Where we at?
Well, I think actually, man, we talking about what the young folk do, dating in this modern era.
Oh, man, yeah.
Now, I ain't doing much dating in the modern era.
I'm not doing much either.
Okay, but it's definitely different from back in the days when you stepped to a girl.
Well, 100%, man, because just the availability, right? People are just moving so much now with life, busy working and all the things that they do. So just the availability to step to women, or even some women stepping to guys now, it's just not a normal thing, I don't think, anymore. I've been out a few times and people just don't approach people. I mean, heck, you have sat at the bar plenty of times and had drinks and looked around and canvassed the atmosphere and just seen how people interact. Many of that movement no more.
Right. They too busy just, looking at me mugging.
And on the phone.
Right.
Everything is on the phone
That's
nowadays.
That's right. On the phone.
I mean, it's almost like Burger King, man.
Have it your way.
Have it your way. Just immediately order something up.
Yeah, so I just noticed in this new landscape, I'll call it that, of dating, we're in microwave relationships, just warm it up, get it going.
That's a good one.
Also, I'll say the development of these things. You can kind of pick and choose kind of what you're looking for. From my understanding, you kind of make it a fetish type website, or if you're going long term, or you're looking for Mrs. Right for the night.
Miss Right for the night is crazy work. Yeah, so
Mr. Right. Females date too.
Yeah,
but I mean, if it could be Mr. or Mrs. Right for the night.
You're right. That knife cuts both ways.
Right. For some people.
Yeah, unfortunately. So nowadays everything is done on these phones and on the app. Right. You can essentially date 10, 12 people at one time.
Right.
Swiping left or swiping right, sparking up conversations to see what you have in common or what you guys are looking for. I mean, these apps now allow you to be able to look specific for an age bracket,
right,
for a race,
right,
obviously
size,
a gender,
specific.
Yeah. Now, the apps aren't really like size wise as far as weight, but you can filter on size wise by height.
Okay.
Right.
Or body type.
Well, yeah, when you're swiping, you can
pick.
But what I'm saying, you can actually set filters to say, I only want to see women between the age of 35 and 42 that are at least 5'5".
But you may have like some with curvy or BBW or
but that's not a filter. That's not a filter.
Okay. All right. Well, a preference.
It's still a preference, and you can swipe through and find it. But what I'm saying is, when you go into click to set up what you want to see.
Okay.
Like if you went to the store to say, hey, I'm online shopping and I'm looking for Nike shoes. Right? I'm going to click Nikes and I'm going to filter to the shoes, and I'm going to filter to, do I want basketball shoes, running shoes, or cross training shoes? And you're going to filter to that. Then Pam is going to show you ones that fit that. You can swipe through which ones you are willing to purchase.
Right. Or as well as international. I'm quite sure because you can date, one of my favorite shows is the 90 Day Fiance joint, where you can date some girl from Colombia or Chile or wherever. Or what some people are being popular with the DR and cats down in there.
DR.
Right, the DR or whatever. They be having a whole family over there in the DR for some reason, running around here because it's cheap. Word on the street.
You almost said that like you had experience.
No, word on the street, bro. I ain't even go down there.
It's cheap.
Yeah. Just what I hear in the street out here. I don't have no DNA down there.
I hear you.
All right, man. So you got a profile?
Yeah, I got one. I mean, I ain't much action on the joint, but life happens, man. And as you know, I've been divorced for almost a year now, and separated for 2 prior to that. So just figuring out what life is right now for me, man.
Okay. Now this is not a show where I'm advertising my co-host here. We just asking some questions because I asked him, did he have a profile? We're not out here soliciting young ladies. But if you do want to jump in his DM, you can hit him at his DM.
My man is wild right now. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, just saying. Just saying. I just throw it out there.
Oh, golly. I can't put the filters up though on that. I can't put no filters up. Yeah, I mean, we just trying to figure out life right now, man. I know you talked about it the other day in reference to just how do you manage moving through life at this age and dating, right?
Right.
And that's different and difficult because I come with a set of circumstances, right?
Right.
I got 2 kids.
Right.
And they are a priority, right? Nothing is really going to take place without their involvement. And they're not going to be sacrificed for anything at this point because they're just too young.
Right. So it's essentially conditions.
Yeah.
You come with conditions.
Yeah.
Which, everybody does at some point.
Especially at this age, I believe. I mean, once you get, close to 40 years old, everybody got life experiences or things that they've been through or things that they just come with. You just got to decide whether or not that's something that you can manage.
So I think there's kind of I guess depending on your age bracket and what you got going on, obviously, is levels to it, as people say. When you're young, because I did my own little research myself, or I guess poll. Yeah, did my own poll. I sampled 35 guys.
Oh, tell me about this. I want to hear this. Tell me about this.
So I kind of, whenever I was out with the wife or just out and about, see a brother, talk to him, or not just black guys, white guys, anybody. Do you date on? Do you? Well, first of all, let me say this.
Here we go.
I walk up to some dude and I start asking him about dating online. So that shit is strange off the top, right?
Yeah, man.
Because I'm like
looking at you crazy, like
right. Like,
old...
thinking I'm a prank. This old motherfucker trying to ask me some shit. So I'm like, nah, bro. Listen, man. I'm trying to do a little research project, So I'm like, hey, do you date online? Do you have a profile? And is this like a long-term relationship? Basically, the 3 questions. So out of 35 guys, 29 of them actually have a profile and dated online. And then about 23 of them had found a long-term relationship out of it. But all of them at some point had a specific purpose.
That's over 50%, maybe closer to 70% of them that actually have a long-term relationship that stemmed from online dating?
From an online dating situation.
Okay. I think that's the new norm now. I think we are from the dinosaur age when it comes to talking to women or meeting women how we did, right? The biggest thing, too, is online dating provides people you can be in class, you can be at work, you can be anywhere and be able to swipe through or look and potentially match with somebody and communicate with them versus, how we did things.
Right, because I could think that would lead to a distraction. I'm at work in my cubicle or something trying to work, and then the next thing I'm looking at young ladies on there, who she's hot, she's not, she this or that,
Yeah, but I mean, I would venture to say everybody's distracted at some point at work doing something with these cell phones.
Of course. Heck, the teachers are distracted, the police are distracted, everybody's distracted.
Right. I mean, you see how many teachers online with TikToks or Instagrams in their classroom recording. I mean, it just is what it is. It's a part of our society today.
And it's a part of just promoting, too.
I'm not saying like it's a negative thing. I think it is the way of the world now, and we have to accept it. Right? As with this dating, modern day dating, we have to accept the way that it is now. It's either adjust or get left behind.
Right, or as they say, roll with it or get roll the fuck over.
You ain't lying.
So
get
now,
down or lay down.
How do you deal with the crazies? You know, it's bad enough I could come, you know, try to approach some chick and we talking and she's crazy. But now online, I really can just put out these best pictures, these best images. And how do you filter that? Is there a way of filtering that on these?
I have no idea. I don't have no experience with that. My experience with dealing with crazy people, it comes, unfortunately, in life experiences, right? I think what I would do to least commit to any kind of situation is not be going out with people on these dinner dates, right? If we're first meeting and interacting, it got to be something simple, coffee, meet at a park, something that allows us that we're not tied down for, you know, a couple hours. And then it's also a place that promotes conversation.
You see, I'm a little different. I want to sit down with you. I want to be in that environment where I can sit down across the table from you.
We can do that, but just not at a dinner setting. Is just so much more committal.
I don't think that's commitment because I'll get up and leave.
I mean, you can, but what I'm just saying is if you come to eat with something simple with coffee or whatever it is that you might meet.
Okay, a little coffee shop, little something.
We can sit, we can have a conversation for hours if it flows that way, or it can be as simple. Okay, we not vibing, and then there's nothing.
Pay the $2 drink.
Coffee, you know what I'm saying? Between the two of us and a croissant.
$8 coffee
between two people is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm about
you
to
paying
say
for your coffee, her coffee, and a croissant or something.
Yeah, because
$15 out the door.
Coffee
versus you sitting down for dinner, you already $150 in.
$150.
Yeah, man. Nowadays, come on, man. You like, what do you call that stuff? That high maintenance, high end fast food, just Polk Brothers.
Right.
Fast food.
Yeah, high dollar. No, I call it. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You sit down, you had a drink.
Designer fast food.
Designer fast food.
Yeah, Polk Brothers, Polk Bros, or Fresh Polk.
Yeah.
That's the designer fast food.
Yeah, but you sit down and you have
Kava.
Yeah. You sit down, have a drink or two, order a meal, an appetizer.
Yeah, and I sunk in too much money.
You $100 in, and y'all ain't said 3 words to each other because y'all ain't even really conversating, you know, that well on that.
Okay,
so
all right, well.
I would just venture to say, start off small. Make sure you guys got something in common to talk about or that y'all get along. That would be my suggestion.
Also, share your location with your girlfriends or even
definitely
with your homies.
Because people are crazy, both men and women. You going out to meet people late at night for dinner or whatnot. Don't know what kind of situation you're going into. I mean, unfortunately, those are real possibilities today. So, yeah.
All right. So that's just a little bit of safety that you should think about. And I think it's also easy to disengage. At least it appears to me. Because, you know, if I don't want to talk to you anymore, I can just stop. Whether you start chatting online or on Instagram, instead of you have my number initially, and then we work to a number, then it work to going out. So, you know, it's easy to disengage if we're kind of like, this ain't working out.
Yeah. But I honestly think the older you get, the easier it is to disengage from people in any kind of setting, because you more concerned about your inner peace the older you get.
Right.
When you're younger, you put yourself in situations, even dealing with women. I put myself in several situations just because I may have been attracted to this woman or liked this one so much that I might not have liked that, but it's okay. I'll deal with it.
Right.
The older you get, the less likely you are to deal with things. So it's easier just to be upfront, like, nah, you know what? I appreciate you. You know, we just kind of ain't moving in the same directions. I'm looking for other things. And I think it's honestly easier when you just upfront and honest with people.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes I would imagine that someone may not tell the full story on the profile. I'm really 49. I'm saying I'm 44. It's 44. I'm saying I'm 39. You know,
it's funny that you mentioned that, man. I actually got a friend. I ain't gonna call no names. Who ran me down the story on this. Right. I met a girl who said that she was a certain age, but then when he met her, she was obviously older, and I don't mean obviously in a bad way. from the story that he tells me. Not obviously in a bad way, but she came with an explanation as to why.
No, it was her explanation.
Yeah. So it made perfect sense. When I listened to it, I'm like, I bet. So what she tells him is that because of her current age, the app directs her towards people in her age bracket, which she's not attracted to.
Okay.
So she adjusted her age so that she can be filtered towards more people that she is attracted to.
Okay.
Right? And people that she likes, finds attractive. But she leads with that when she meets. Like, it's not something that she continued to hold on to, acting like she's a certain age.
I'm trying to hoodwink you.
Yeah, no hoodwinking. She was like, look, I know my profile says I'm X, but I'm actually this old. And this is why it's like that. If it's too much for you to deal with, I understand. But this is why I did that.
Okay.
And you can't knock nobody for being honest.
No, I was thinking that she was just kind of looking for a sugar daddy. And sugar daddy come in, he's a little older and, set out a little bit. But I guess she was looking for something younger, somebody younger.
Yeah, she wasn't looking for no sugar daddy. She from what I understand, I don't know. But I think that it's funny because think about this, man, in your age and growing up. When you're young, you lie and say you older.
Right.
When you're old, you lie and say
you want to be
younger.
younger. Right.
It's I believe it was Kanye West said it on one of his songs. Like, married people want to be single people want to be married, rich people want to be regular, they want to be poor, but they want, famous people don't want all of that.
Want their privacy back.
Right. Regular people want to be rich and famous. Mm-hmm. Like, people are just never satisfied with what they have. I do have something I want to run by you though, Unc.
All right.
I listened to this stuff the other day. Maybe it was today. Might have been this morning. It was right online on what we discussing. And it's the 80-20 rule. You heard about this?
Yeah. I try to apply that to almost everything I do.
Yeah, well, that's good. But I was listening to this lady talk about it today, and she was talking about, and her statement specifically was, ain't nobody going to get me up off my husband. That 80% he got is better than the 20% out here in these, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, damn. That mentality right there is what will keep people together.
The 80% of what that he got.
And so that's the 80-20 rule, is that the person that you're with will have 80% of the things that you like and love and endure to be with them.
Right.
But the 20% that you're missing, they don't have. So when you see that 20% out in the next dude or next female, sometimes it looks like 100% because you don't have it.
But he's really got the 80% that you don't really need.
Exactly.
That's what he got.
Right. He got the 20% you not getting over here, but 80% of what you're not getting over there.
Right. I feel you. Okay,
so
I see the correlation. I look at it, the 80-20 meaning this. I mean, in any situation that's bad or good, control 80% of it, and then 20% of it is the bullshit that I got to deal with, and just deal with the 80% of what I can make and control. But in that situation, I get it.
Yeah. So in this was relationship wise, is you got to figure out the person that has 80% of what it is that you can deal with,
okay,
or that you want, and deal with the 20% that you're not going to get, because you're not getting 100% from people.
Okay.
Nobody has 100% everything
of everybody. You can't, because
right?
You have your own individual identity. You sacrificing to give as much as you can for a relationship, especially if it's long term.
Correct.
I could rock with that.
But that 80%. So she was like, ain't none of y'all dudes out there going to trick me off of my 80% offering your 20. Even though that 20 looks phenomenal when you're not getting it over here.
And that 20% be on Instagram.
Yeah, ooh.
It be shaking, making you dizzy. That's how bad that 20% be. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's all it is.
That 20%.
20% on the dollar.
Yeah, that 20%. I'm just giving examples now. You done got me thinking, what's that 20%? That 20% be looking so good.
Duh.
I mean, yeah, it's on Instagram shaking.
Yeah.
It's driving. That 20% is driving in the car at the light too. Mm-hmm. You pull up at the light. That 20% right there. Right. Give me an example of that 20%. I like this. I'm gonna throw this around a little bit.
Example of the 20%. It can be something as simple as you're married to a woman who doesn't cook.
Right. And that 20% again is some form of fashion in the kitchen.
She in the kitchen.
Right. That 20%, right.
Or the 20% of someone who just might not tend to you as much.
Right.
That 20% could be something as simple as, hey, I packed your lunch.
Right. That's that 20%.
Right.
Okay.
That's it. Or, hey, I was downtown by your office today.
I thought about you.
and I wanted to drop this off, whatever it is, brought you this, brought you that, or just
The work wife, the potential work wife.
we can go down. Oh, we going down there?
Yeah, I'm just saying is that a sign of modern dating too? Because I can tell you this, coming up as a young man, as a kid, when I say as a kid, I never heard of a work wife. That's something fairly new. I'll say in the last decade that I'm hearing. I've heard of guys with the secretary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The work wife could be y'all equal playing field of working. But y'all go to Starbucks, y'all go to lunch together.
Let me ask you this: does a work wife actually entail someone that you're having a relationship with, or is this just somebody that you hang out? Now this gets tricky. This is your friend at work,
right? And I say I don't think a work wife is a romantic relationship at all times.
Okay,
it's not a romantic relationship at all times. But what it is a companion at work specifically, and you may spend a lot of time together and do. I'll use this word. You do favors for each other. However, or a work-related task favors.
Extra lunch for you.
Yeah, something like that, but not like intimate favors. But yeah, I would consider of the opposite sex. I wouldn't say the same sex. I would say of the opposite sex.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And I say the same sex for a reason. But yeah, go ahead.
You know, we understand.
But those who know understand.
Yeah. Those who know,
understand. Yeah.
If you know, you know. Can that last in a platonic realm?
Well, I'm from the era. Ain't no friends. Okay, ain't no man and woman friends. You know, you just ain't. That's y'all era stuff. That started with y'all.
Hold on, time out. Please. Why every time this topic comes up, you hit me with that's y'all era about having female friends, and I repeatedly tell you, I don't have no female friends.
Maybe not you specifically, but your era, man.
I can't tell you none of my boys who have we don't have female friends.
Y'all ashamed to admit it. That's what it is. You ashamed to admit to put your boys out there. I know for a fact, my era and before, there ain't no female friends.
I mean,
because they always, well, let me not say, generally, matter of fact, more times than not, there's an ulterior motive when there's a man involved.
100%. And that's why I say the same thing. It's like, I don't have no female friends that are just friends. Like there has been some level of attraction or something that one of us is looking for.
Now you do. Yeah. And you may have been.
My entire life.
All right. You may have been one of the few from your era. But I'm telling you, your era is the ones who started that.
Do we want to talk? I mean, since we poking the bear, do we want to talk about what your era started?
I thought we already was on the topic of dating in this modern world.
Oh, okay. All right.
Trying to switch the topic.
Yeah, I ain't trying to switch the topic. I just don't like being poked. You know what I'm saying? I am a competitive person. If I feel like I'm getting jabbed, I'm ready to strike back.
All right. Guys in your era, not you specifically. All right. So yeah, you got this. Is it modern dating? Is it dating?
That work wife?
That work wife. Because I brought her back lunch. I brought her back a latte. She brought me a gift that she picked in the Christmas Secret Santa, and it's a little more than $25. It's specific. You know, I know that you drink this particular drink, which is Vibe Black Vodka. And that's what she bought for me for
the holiday
season.
Christmas.
Yeah. Is that, dating?
I think that you are old enough to know and understand what this relationship is. We are too old to play naive or oblivious to what's going on.
Women do that all the time.
Women may.
He my friend.
Yeah, but again, most men, not all. I understand there is a segment of men who do have female friends. I get it. But most men don't have no female friends. And I would venture to say 90% of married men are not cool with their wives having some male friends that they hang out. He's just my friend. Like you couldn't say, hey, me and Tyrone meeting Tyrone for drinks after work. It's my friend.
Nah, that would be a little uncomfortable.
Or me and Tyrone going for lunch together.
Right. But we work together.
Yeah. Nah. Right. So I'm just saying.
So you wouldn't want to meet a work husband, is what you're saying.
Want to meet a work husband?
Right.
I mean, like my wife if I was still married, my wife had a work husband.
A work husband. This ain't like no friend.
Nah, we not doing that.
Okay.
No, we not doing that.
Okay.
Right.
And do I wonder? We have to probably ask women: do they keep their work husbands relationship a secret from their husband?
All right, so look,
That's I would wonder that.
if this video hits YouTube, right? Comment below on that topic right there. And if commenting below is a little too much, then hit the inbox of the WTF podcast on Instagram or Facebook. Hit our inbox and give us that information right there. We would love to know what the ladies think in this topic.
Yeah. You keeping your work husbands a secret.
Well, if you keeping them secret, that's not a friend.
That's exactly why I say there ain't no such thing. But then I don't want to be. It's most guys. They come home from work or whatever it is, and their wife tells them about their day, and it may include co-worker situations. Men do that too, so
Right.
it may include you. That's just a part of your conversation and decompressing from the day. I don't want to hear about Tyrone and I went to so and so, and this is my work husband. That's a little suspicious.
That's more than suspicious. I mean, I think me and you can talk about the work relationship that we observed on the daily basis at work. It was a specific time that we would be driving to go to lunch, and we would witness these two people that was obviously not in a relationship together, but it obviously appeared to be a work wife/husband situation, right?
Yeah, there definitely had something going on.
Right. And
On the work level.
definitely on the work level, but they were always together. And my question would have been, if your husband or wife would have observed that, would you still be doing that?
Yeah, that's definitely a pickle for them too.
Yeah, but then you think about certain jobs today and what they require, the amount of time you have to spend at certain places. It's possible.
Friendships could develop.
Yeah.
Friendships could develop and genuine friendships develop. But I'm just saying specifically that work husband-wife relationship, that's a little different because you depend on each other a little more. You do a little more and beyond favors for each other. Look out for each other. I may do a little bit extra of your work and vice versa so that I could take a little longer break. Just things like that.
Yeah, and depending on what kind of field you work in, those relationships are not only, sometimes those relationships are necessary, right? But they don't have to be the work wife, work husband, because you need help at work.
Yeah. I'm just saying when it develops into that work wife and husband, and is that a part of dating?
I don't know if that's a part of dating, because dating is dating, with the intent of something.
Okay.
Maybe
somebody could have an intent.
There could be some intent there, so I don't want to negate that. But there could be
right.
some intent there on some frivolous
or nefarious activity. and I don't want to say that which party would be, because it could go either way.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's always, that's my friend.
Yeah. You don't want I don't know. I don't know.
All right. So we kind of ran down the work wife husband relationship in these modern dating era. We talked a little bit about, but we threw out about the international portion of dating. Some tips about taking some safety concerns about dating. Specifics on how much you can target a specific type.
So, along those lines too, since we on the subject, we got to talk about this. And this is for both men and women. You have to take the dating game serious. And what I mean by that is when you're out meeting potential people, like we call it, your application process needs to be serious. And I say that because there's so many different situations that you can end up in.
But I ain't looking for nothing serious. I'm applying for the night.
I'm not even applying for the night could be deathly.
True indeed.
Right. And that's what I mean by taking this situation. You're dating a little bit serious with your communication, getting to know people, how you meet them, where you meet them at, those kind of things. Like the world is still a big, scary place.
True,
right. And there are predators everywhere.
All facets.
Right. Both male and female.
Right.
Right. So you're out meeting people, dating online. You should use all safety measures that you know and can think of. Communicating with your friends, making sure they know where you're headed to, sharing your location. All those things are necessary when you're meeting people. Because Murphy's Law is a real thing. If it can go wrong, it will.
For sure.
So I definitely wanted to touch on that to make sure that even though we are casually talking about modern day dating, still want to make sure that we're thinking about being safe in our dating realms.
For sure.
But Wayne,
yeah,
you ain't dated in how long, man?
Oh man, it's been a long time, brother.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
You should be dating your wife regularly.
You hit me. Oh, you set me up with the left jab and came right in
With
there
the
with
overhand
the
right.
Okay. Yeah. You are definitely right.
Yeah. What's the last date you went on with
the wife? Let's see.
I mean, since you retired, huh, you've been on the move
Yeah,
lately,
which-
man. I can't even
yeah.
catch up with my ace, man. Every time I turn around, you're gone. Had to catch a flight up here to New York just to do something real quick and turn around and fly back same day. Like, God, dog.
Yeah. But I'll be honest with you. What happens is, at least now, it's not necessarily a date because we may just not cook and then go to a place, a restaurant, sit down and eat. I don't necessarily consider that a date per se. We did go to the movies one day recently, and saw the Lion King movie.
Okay.
Did that, and so I would consider that a specific date. But beyond that, like going somewhere just to grab something to eat, that's kind of a common occurrence, and it could be multiple. Could be a fine dining or somewhere on designer fast food. You know?
What are some tips you would give to the young men, either early married, looking to get married? What would you say to men to make sure that they are maintaining a healthy relationship? Because you've been married how long?
I've been married a long time, 28 years.
Oops.
No,
I ain't
28
gonna ask that
years.
specific question.
Nah.
Get you up here stutter bud.
No, because I was out saying this is because there's no perfect husband, no perfect relationship.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
so I'm probably the worst to give actual advice. What I am good at is getting someone to answer the question. You know what I'm saying? Because what works for me may not work for the next man or the next woman.
But your experience could be valuable on whether or not it works or not.
Right. And the experience is your wife is always right.
Yeah, I guess that's why I'm divorced. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to stay married? Your wife is always right. Let me look into the camera and say that. Your wife is always right.
And with that being said, flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
It's you are. I don't believe in that. And obviously, for me, maybe that's why I'm not still married. But they're not always right. You not always right. No person is always right. And that old additive saying about happy wife, happy life, that ain't always true. A more appropriate one is happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah, I would agree to that. So basically, you just have to find out what works for you in your relationship, in your life, is what I'm saying. Because what works for someone may not work for somebody else. There's definitely no cookie cutter answer to anything. What you have to understand is, what are you giving and taking? What can you accept and what you cannot? Really, really important to you, and what's really just not that important. And then make it work and mesh. That's it. And you got to understand it's never 60-40. I mean, 50-50, I'm sorry. It's never 50-50. It could be 60-40. It could be 70-30. It could be 80-20. Just depends on what it is.
I think more importantly is people just got to understand the commitment, right? When you're saying that you're going to be married, that doesn't mean just as long as I'm happy, because happiness is a choice. Like, you choose to be happy in situations that you're in. Everything's not great, but you got to choose how you're going to manage your life.
Right. And we're going to
can't
get on that in another show.
Yeah, well, definitely. But
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
can't let someone else's interactions or what they got going on choose how you live.
How you move on that. Yeah. And your long-term happiness.
No, definitely not. But you can choose to be committed to somebody, and regardless of how it goes.
Right.
Whether we good or bad, I'm still committed to you.
True.
Right. And that's what marriage is.
Yeah, definitely.
I would agree. I would agree. I think that modern day dating is going to get the best of a lot of us. And what I mean is us old people. And I say old because, man, and I hate to say it this way, but being 40 years old and back dating, that's old to be dating. And I don't mean it in a bad way. That's just old.
Yeah, well, modern. It's modern day with the divorces, widows, or just people who've been single, career driven for a long period of time, getting into dating. Reminds me of a show, a series on a Netflix I was watching. Really liked it. Later Dating, and actually, what's odd is I became Instagram followers. Me and one of the persons that were on it follow each other now, and it was just good to see the different dynamics that they're rolling through now at this age, and how it really does apply in this era. What are the hurdles they're hurdling, with children, with past relationships, with all of these different things. And it's part of the new dating world.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see how that can be interesting to navigate, because as you get to a certain age, you become set in your ways or set in your life. And I'm starting to get that way just through experience. Like, I like things a certain way, I do things a certain way, and change can be a little rough. Versus when you get married or in a serious relationship at a young age, y'all essentially grow up together. This is what we do. This is
Right.
we grew together. This is how things are. Versus meeting somebody when you're 40 and they're 40, and for the last 5-6 years, maybe even longer, this is how they live their life, and this is how you live your life. How do we mesh those things together? Certain something as simple as when we do laundry, do we fold towels or do we roll them?
Right. And when you gave those two examples, I'll say that my wife and I grew up together.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we were young, later teens, and then young adults, and grew up till now in our 50s. So whatever kinks and quirks we work through that together as adults. And as someone who now back in the game or still in the game, it's like you said, it's just a difference on how you're going to mesh, bring this together. Because I have my ways. I fold my towels a certain way, like you said.
Yeah. But I'm sure your wife does it the same way.
No, she may do something different, but it's just, all right, that ain't is so important to be disagreeing about. It's just, all right, it's what it is.
And I just use that as an example, as people who just grow together, they just do certain.
There's some things we do the same.
So
some things we do.
That might not have been the right example, obviously, for you. I think that.
No, I think it definitely applies.
Yeah, I was just talking about specifically with the towels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all I meant. It applies. The landscape has changed. I do think, and we may have touched on this earlier, is that the older you get and the more experiences that you have with people, some level of comparison, right? And I do think that, and I've said this on many of times, you may have heard me say before, is that comparison is the thief of joy. And to boil that down to a bare bones minimum is that you can never enjoy what you have if you're comparing it to other things, right? Comparing it to a last relationship or maybe a last partner that you had. It could be a sexual partner. It could be someone who's cooking. Right. Food wise, like, yeah, I like this person, but she don't cook like so-and-so. So there could be so many different levels of comparison that happen that remove joy from your life. I honestly don't think God intended for us to be as experienced as we are in relationships and life as we are.
Yeah, sometimes experience ruins things.
Yeah. Too much experience
ruins things.
Can ruin things. And in this case, it's, the thief of joy. So I do think that you have to be honest with yourself in that aspect about just having an open mind when you're dealing with people, especially for me now, talking about dating, trying not to be comparing any kind of situation.
Now, you said a couple of things that I want to pull out, and it's something from earlier. You said comparisons, right? And then also in the early stages, you're dating someone. Essentially, how do you find out who's the real person versus the representative that you brung here to meet me initially?
Yeah.
So how do we get rid of the representative?
Time is the only thing that gets rid of the representative, but you also got to be cognizant of the fact that you are also putting your representative out there too. Your representative might not be as far removed from the real you. For example, if you have someone over to your house, you may clean up, right?
Right.
So when someone comes over, they're like, oh, he keeps his house clean. Well, my house might not always be this clean, but it's not far from what you're seeing. Right. So that is a little bit of a representative, but it's not far from what you see. You're not going to come over here and see dirty clothes slathered all over here, dishes in the sink and all that. You're not going to see that ever.
Gotcha.
You might come over here and the floor might not be swept,
Every time, every day.
Correct. Or I might not have put no fresh scent up.
Okay.
Gotcha. As far as like the plugins or whatnot. So you also are having a representative as well. But the only thing that takes away a representative is time. The more time you spend with them, the harder it is for any individual to not eventually show you their true person.
Okay. And a representative doesn't necessarily mean that you fake.
Yeah.
It's just
you putting on your best face.
Your best side.
Yeah, your best. I watch this. Man, it's funny. I listened to something the other day, and I don't know which social media platform it was on, but this woman got extremely mad at a guy because on their second date, he said, on our third date, do you mind coming not wearing any makeup?
Yeah, I can feel that.
Right? And she was so upset by the fact, like the audacity of you to ask me how I should show up and blase, and along the lines, which I can understand to a certain extent why she may have felt that way. Right? But also I understood what the man was asking for. Right? He asked for something that he probably could have gave a little more context to of what he was requesting, and then probably painted a better scenario for that, because maybe she doesn't want to be out in public or meeting somewhere like that without putting her best face together, and what she would see her best face together. To me, it just seemed like he wanted to know what he getting himself into.
Right, what you look like.
Yeah, what do you actually look like without makeup? That didn't mean she was wearing a lot of makeup. I want to know what you look like.
Your natural
without that.
self. Yeah,
I want to see the natural you as well. You know, and
because most guys, you know, we just put on a little bit of lotion. You can't really, you can't. The scars.
Yeah.
Most men. I know,
nah, man. Dudes, we out there right now too, getting our hair painted and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Who's their representative is out here for real too. Out here at the barbershop getting that.
Right.
Like,
I remember one
getting
time
toothpaste and all that other stuff.
I remember one time, this guy, I still had a little hair at the time, and this dude, he sprayed my joint a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I came to work, and you bust out laughing. Yeah. So yeah, he hit me with the spray a little bit, and then that was my decision. Be like, nah, bro, I gotta let it go now because and my wife was holding it. Honey, you could nah. Going bald now. Let it ride.
So everyone, and I say this, obviously, everyone doesn't live long enough to get the gray hair. Everyone doesn't live long enough to go bald.
Right.
You got to take those as blessings.
Definitely
right?
so.
They come with a grain of salt, but everyone doesn't live long to have that experience.
Yeah. And I would have liked my hair to have gone gray. That's what I would have liked, but it ultimately decided to leave. So when it leaves, you just got to let it go.
Yeah. But, that's a part of the representative that dudes be doing too is,
Right. The spray on beard.
Paint,
but hair so black it's falling down slick. It's leaking down in your neck. Nah, man, you could have to keep patting it because, and I couldn't do that because I sweat a lot anyway. I sweat. So if I had that, it might be just draining down the side of my head, man.
Burning.
Right. So, nah, I don't think ultimately that would be good.
We accept life as it comes, man. Eventually mine going. I'm getting a little thin on the top. I feel it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's part of life,
Everybody doesn't live long enough to see it. But just to circle back on the representative portion just for a brief second, I think that as you get older, be you. That's it. Be who you are and let the person that you're either entertaining or dating or talking to make a conscious decision on spending time with you and getting to know you for who you are versus the person you're portraying to be to them. Right. Because what you don't want is to get in a situation and be in some sort of long-term relationship with somebody, and then all of a sudden here's some new found information about you, or that you're not actually who you said you were, or whatever. And then now y'all both have wasted time.
All right, now I'm gonna piggyback behind that with a little something. I think also the problem is sometimes people don't say what they want. If you really want a long-term relationship, if you're looking for marriage, then date for marriage. Date for what you say you're looking for or what you really want. Because you could say you're looking for something, but you really want something else. Because they're fearful of saying, hey, I want to date for marriage. I want to date to have a family because it's perceived as thirsty.
Yeah, or I just want to date for tonight.
Yeah, and if I just want to date for the night, let that person know so they can move on if that's what they want, or if they just want to wrestle in the sheets a little bit, see what you're about, and make that happen. But I think that's been something that, in particular, women that I've talked to, later 30s and into their 40s, has been a problem. You're not saying, I want a husband. Well, you're not saying that.
And I think that some people do say that, but their actions don't line up with that.
That's
Right.
yeah,
So
of course.
that's part of the problem too. What I see is that, and man, it's not like I got a lot of experience with this, just, enough. But you say that this is what you want. I'm looking for this, but your actions just don't line up with it, right?
And that's both ways too.
100%.
Men and women, yeah.
These statements hold true for both sides of the coin. This is not me making or taking shots at women at all. This is me taking shots at dating people, both men and women. You have to move accordingly to what you want. If you're looking for a serious long-term relationship, but when you're talking to people or dating people, you got to show that side of what you're looking for, not still going out or just doing other things that I ain't not really
Counterproductive.
specific about, but
Counterproductive to what you say you really want.
right, you got to move in a manner of which is conducive to what you're saying you want.
Right.
And it wouldn't be no different if you were actually married. If you're married, you can't move that way. Certain stuff you just can't do.
Okay. All right. Or you should declare what you're looking for in the beginning. I think that's my issue.
Yeah,
declare what you want. Say what you want.
But also let the actions match that is all I'm saying too.
Gotcha.
So I agree 100% with what you're saying. Up front, this is what I'm looking for. I want a husband. I want a wife. Or, hey, I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm just trying to figure out which way my life is headed. I don't want to put any strings on anything, whatever that is, but then move that way. Don't. And here's the other thing is some people tell I'm not looking for anything serious. And then somebody will agree with them. Okay, cool. Well, let's, just hang out and see what happens. And then eventually
somebody wants to go into a different direction.
Correct. But now you've already put yourselves in a box based on what you've decided up front. And then you can't say I'm not looking for nothing serious. And then a month later, you're like, I think I want something serious. That female or that guy might not have been taking you serious. They might have something else going on.
Right.
And you can't be upset about that. But then you also can't be, I'm looking for something serious. And then you can't set your phone down.
Right. Okay. All right. Definitely some things that goes on in this modern dating.
Yeah. Hopefully you won't ever have to figure it out. Huh?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll never have to figure it out. Well, we appreciate you took the time to sit here and listen to us blabber back and forth about what we think and our opinions. We definitely would love to hear some comments and concerns about, well, maybe not concerns, but some comments about what you think, some things you might want to hear us discuss or topics that we can go into. If you did find this interesting, we'd love for you to subscribe to the page, and for future content that's coming. We just getting started in this podcasting thing, so we're excited to do this, and we look forward to bringing a whole lot more content.
And this episode was brought to you by Vibe Black Vodka, right there.
Yeah. Shout out to our guy who has provided us with this little bit of an opportunity with this Vibe Black Vodka. Also, the vodka's good. So you can where can they get this vodka at, Uncle Wayne?
Well, you can get it from www.vibeblackvodka.com. Also, it's 6-time distilled, American-made black vodka. You're not going to find it's the only one made this way. And I've not had anyone who's tasted it not like it.
Yeah. We as you can see, this second bottle here is about empty because me and Wayne regularly, I wouldn't say regularly, but it's one of our favorite drinks to sit back and enjoy and sip on over some rock.
Yes, and as always, drink responsibly.
Thank you. And again, thank you. We look forward to putting out some more content and enjoying it. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.